Today, we have two topics to discuss. The first one being the massive influx of bots showing Royale High, and the second one being potentially no longer earning XP from your morning routine. So, we have a lot to discuss today, so let's get straight into it. So, I was farming as one does, and I was doing the morning routine, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you join Royale High in the Campus 4 and you are doing things in the bathroom like putting on deodorant, brushing your teeth, showering, and doing laundry. And something that I've learned from making these videos is if I don't record it, people try to gaslight me that it never happened. And so, as soon as I noticed I wasn't gaining any XP or diamonds or whatever, because I thought, oh, maybe I'm just an old server and you only gain diamonds. Once I noticed I wasn't gaining anything from these tasks, I went ahead and started screen recording. Now, the biggest indicator, because I know some people might say, oh, well, you must have already done that. You must have already done that task. So I went ahead and I did the laundry in my recording, which I hadn't done yet. And you can see that when I take stuff out of the laundry, when you watch this clip, that I don't get any XP for it. And it's not just a visual bug, it seems. Because before, when I made a video about this, talking about how there was visual bugs, where it says you earned a certain amount of XP, and then it shows you a different amount that you've earned, but you've still earned the full amount of XP, I was still getting XP in my XP bar. But throughout this, I wasn't getting any notification I was earning XP, and I also wasn't getting any XP in my XP bar. So naturally, I went to Twitter and I asked Royale High directly, because Royale High has been making these tweets, I'm be honest, a little bit passive-aggressively, referring to YouTubers and saying, don't spread misinformation. Okay, fine. Let me ask you a question, which I asked this yesterday. I didn't get a response, so I can only do what I can do, but I was going to talk about it regardless because it does directly impact me and it directly impacts you guys. So I asked them, a quick question. I noticed I no longer earn XP for the morning routine, showering, laundry, makeup, deodorant, bathroom, etc. Is this a new farming change or a game bug? Because I just want to know, is this going to be one of the changes that is applied to farming when you guys do the whole farming revamp next month? Or is it just, a game bug? And if so, how can that be fixed? Because players are, unrightfully getting XP taken away from them when they should be getting, earning it, right? Because you're spending time in a game doing these tedious tasks, which someone might be like, oh, they're not that tedious. Okay, fine. But at the same time, this is a child playing a game. And if a child is playing a game and it's alluded that they're going to get certain rewards for doing certain tasks, they should be getting those rewards, you know what I mean? So they're kind of missing out on potential earnings that they could be getting, which I take issue with. I think that's not very fair. So I just commented that, didn't get a response. But this person by Bonnie Royal said, hi Pommy, I think that may be a glitch. This has happened to me a few times. Even when I rejoined, it's still glitched. As of right now, while I'm farming, I am earning XP from little quests. Hope this helps. Which that was definitely very good feedback. Thank you, Bonnie, because I was like, is this just me? Is it other people who are experiencing that? And I want to know down below, you guys let me know, are you also experiencing this potential glitch or change? Something that I thought was really interesting, because even today when I was doing it, I wasn't earning XP. However, when I would join some other servers, I would. So I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on. And one of my theories was that, did they potentially change the farming? Which the last time I said this, they didn't like that. That's fine. But my question is, and what many people may recognize, is that Royale High has hundreds of servers, right? They have tons of servers running at once. And basically what happens is when they apply an update, they wait for, I guess, it seems like servers to close before the update is applied. And so any servers that have been running since before the update was applied still have the old farming methods or whatever it may be. Because evidence of this was when I was recording farming footage in one of my videos. It was very recent farming footage. I was still earning diamonds instead of XP, which that just shows that I was in an older server. So one of my questions was, when I was leaving and rejoining and maybe getting a different server, was I getting an old server and then the new server was the one where I wasn't earning XP, or was the XP a glitch? But my question then is, why is Bonnie Royal also running into this issue? So I'm really curious if this is something that you guys have also experienced, whether this is a potential farming change or a glitch. But regardless, if it is a glitch, it should be rectified, I would hope, quickly, because again, this is directly cutting into players' income. And on top of that, I think if it is a farming change, that should be communicated, because Royale High kept emphasizing in every response to me they're going to communicate changes. So I am curious if this is just a glitch, if it's, obviously an update or something. But I wasn't going to use the in-game bug report feature because I can't identify if this is a bug or not, because they didn't answer my question. So I don't know. But you guys let me know if you've also experienced this in the comment section below. It seemed I was only not earning income from the morning routine, which is why I'm a little bit confused, because I stayed in the same server and just the whole morning routine I earned nothing, but as soon as I went and got breakfast, I was earning XP for eating breakfast. So I'm not sure how that works. Again, that's what makes me think it may not be a bug, and that's just how it is now. I don't know though, so let me know your thoughts down below. Now, the second topic for this video has to do with the massive influx of bots in Royale High. Now, I think I see a lot of people speculating, oh, Royale High's botting their game. That's not what I think at all, okay? I want to be very clear. But if you guys have ever gone to platforms like Etsy, even Facebook Marketplace, any sort of online selling platform, you will probably have recognized that you find people selling diamonds, which I'm going to be honest, guys, 99% of those are scams. There's a very slim few that are actual legitimate people, but even then, I would never buy diamonds because first, that violates terms of service, and second of all, you don't know if diamonds are quote-unquote poison, which some people say that diamonds can't be poisoned. If you know what that means, it basically means that diamonds were either directly stolen from a player or scammed from a player was hacked and their diamonds are traded away, and Royale High does have the ability, to my understanding, to basically see trading logs so that they can see, okay, this person by the username of Cupcake123 had diamonds stolen from them, they were traded to this account, and then that account could be a seller that then sells those diamonds to you, and then it looks like you're associated with the scam, and you can get banned on Royale High or on Roblox altogether, right? So you just all over, you don't really want to buy diamonds. However, I have noticed that since Royale High has made their announcement that they're going to be removing multipliers at the end of the month, diamond sellers have been panicking. Because if you guys have ever played Royale High, chances are you've probably seen that there are some players who will be like level 3000 and they're a bacon hair. Which, no hate to bacon hairs or anything like that, right? Like, you're allowed to wear what you want to wear. But realistically, I think someone who has 3000 levels in Royale High, they play a lot of Royale High, and for them to not be wearing any clothing items, even just free ones they would have gotten from spinning the wheel or the fountain, is obviously very concerning. It's like, why aren't you wearing anything? And this is because these people are farming bots. These are people who are associated with third-party selling of diamonds and items in Royale High. And it seems like with the changes being announced that multipliers are going to be removed at the end of the month, these sellers are freaking out because for some of them, this is their form of income. So they have been farming like never before in Royale High. I swear, every single server I join, there is bots. I'll show you guys this one right here on my screen. This is what I was wishing at the fountain yesterday. This one is either an alt account or a bot, but there was a bunch of these bacon hairs or just like random avatars. And what's interesting is that they always have similar names to this person. Or they'll have like Queen Jacob or I don't know, Licorice Rice, or like just like always like 2-word names, and they'll be a bacon hair, and they will be either wishing at the fountain, turning the wheel, or in art class. Now this video I'm going to show you guys if it hasn't been taken down, because I wasn't able to save it, so I have to screen record it to put it in the video. But it was a TikToker on TikTok, obviously, but they're Royale High creators, so I will credit them accordingly. And basically they were showing how when they're in art class, there are these accounts that will write very bizarrely on the screen. Which, side note, guys, I have a bone to pick with people in art class. If you sit there and you write XP ... get out of my face. First of all, get out of my face. Okay? You don't gotta be doing all that. Second of all, if you don't draw the prompt, you just write it, also get out of my face, because it's not what art class is about. Okay? This is not English class. Stop. Draw the prompt. Anyways, I'm just being picky here. But basically, these random bots will sit in the art class, and as soon as they get pulled up to do the prompt, they will write in the exact same font very slowly, and like you will see that the E's are the same, the T's are the same, like the letters are the same, and they will just write very, very slowly, and there'll be certain letters that are significantly smaller than other letters continuously, and they will write the prompt on the screen. And the reason they write slowly is obviously to collect as much XP as possible to optimize their earnings, but the reason they write it is because they are a bot and they cannot draw it. So what they do instead is that they run a script so that they can write stuff on the screen, and this is some random bot that is quite literally running off some random person's PC and is just writing the prompts on the screen to collect endless XP. And I've seen some people saying that art class automatically kicks you out once you reach a certain streak level, so basically means you got enough prompts in a row, which I'm confused how bots work in the art class when it comes to guessing prompts. I'm not sure how that all works, guys. I don't use bots. I'm not a bot owner, so I wouldn't know. If any of you guys are, you can discreetly let me know in the comment section below. I won't out you, but you know what I mean? Like, there's obviously like a pretty consistent theme of people using bots in the art class and wishing, and when it comes to just farming in general or just sitting around the map. I swear the other day I was trying to do the sparkly treasure quest, and it was like every time a diamond heart spawned, like the castle heart, it was like boom, a bacon would teleport onto it. I'm like, oh my god, get out of my face, okay? I'm just trying to do my journal quest. Stop taking it from me. But regardless, there's obviously a lot of, I would say, issues with bots in Royale High, but I do want to clarify, I don't think that's Royale High doing it themselves. I see a lot of people accusing Royale High of botting their game to make the numbers higher. Personally, I'm sure there's games on Roblox that do that, obviously, to artificially inflate their player base, but I don't really understand how that would be beneficial for Royale High since they're already known as a game, right? A lot of games that artificially inflate their player base are games that are either dying or games that just don't have like a big fan base to begin with, when Royale High certainly does. So I don't think it's Royale High obviously putting these bots in the games. I would speculate that it's definitely people who are third-party sellers who recognize that at the end of the month, their little shop is probably going to go out of business, so they are trying to farm as many diamonds as possible before they take out the multipliers. And another indicator too that people are bots is that, again, they'll have the 2-word name, they'll be bacon hair, but also if you go to their diary or whatever, you will see the only badges they really have is like the generic ones from starting. It will be like the generic welcome to Royale High. There'll be like a one where they claim their fairy power, and then they'll have the multipliers and quite literally nothing else, because they don't do any quests and stuff like that, because I guess maybe their whatever software they're running off of can't do the quest because they have to click so many different things and they have to interact with things. Whereas when it comes to our class, they can literally sit there idle, and then if they have some sort of program that runs, it just reads what the prompt is and is able to write it down, then they can go ahead and just write it down. So regardless, it's pretty evident by looking at these people's diaries, by looking at their level when they're like thousands of levels high and have no accessories and stuff like that, that these players are bots. And I'm not quite sure what Royale High wants to do about this. I know they do have, you know, no AFK farming and stuff like that, and so they'll have like those bingo things appear on your screen, but I'd recommend personally reporting these accounts, not because they're, you know, farming on alt accounts or they're botting. I don't really care that much about that. It's more so because it makes the Royale High economy more unfair for you, because when you have players like this selling diamonds and the majority of them are scammers, chances are if you're trying to buy these diamonds, you're getting scammed. Or the other flip side to it is that when you're trading with somebody for diamonds, one of those people could have been buying diamonds from one of these sellers that got maybe diamonds from scamming somebody else, and then they trade those diamonds to you from a trade that you did, you know, correctly, or like an actual trade in Royale High, and then you get punished for it. So altogether, I just think that bot farmers really aren't the best for Royale High, so I'd urge you guys to not interact with them and not to purchase stuff, but of course it's your choice. So with that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you noticed a change in the XP in the morning routine? Do you think it's a glitch? Do you think it's maybe a change to farming? I would hope it's not a change to farming, because Royale High did say they were going to make announcements about that as that came out, so I'm not sure. And on top of that, let me know if you've seen these bots in the art class specifically or at the wishing fountain, because it feels like every time I join Royale High now, they are everywhere. And it's a little bit scary. I turn around, it's like bacon. I'm like, stop. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!